Today on Washington TV. Hezbollah's defeat in the Lebanese elections. Clinton's warning against Iran's possible attack on Israel. U.S. envoy says Obama wants, quote, immediate Mideast peace talks. President Obama speeds stimulus projects, vows new jobs. Iran, IAEA atomic watchdog must close Iran's file. Debate between two pro-reform candidates turned into criticism of President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. And Iran's central bank's rejection of the inflation statistics offered by Ahmadinejad. These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.
Today in Washington. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton yesterday warned Iran that it would face retaliation if it were to launch a nuclear attack against Israel. Clinton, who was speaking on the ABC television news program This Week, also stated that Tehran's alleged pursuit of nuclear arms would have consequences and costs. She said, quote, "I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind that were Israel to suffer a nuclear attack by Iran, there would be retaliation." Clinton also said that if Iran was pursuing nuclear weapons in an aim to better secure itself, those weapons would actually trigger greater insecurity since it would spark an arms race in the region. The U.S. envoy to the Middle East, George Mitchell, said today that President Obama wants immediate talks between the Palestinians and Israelis on a Mideast peace agreement. Mitchell, who is en route to the Middle East, said that the talks are intended to forge a comprehensive peace and normalization of relations between Israel and its neighbors. Under U.S. pressure to spell out his intentions regarding peace efforts, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said yesterday that he would make a major policy speech next week mapping out his government's principles for achieving peace and security. U.S. President Obama announced today that he is accelerating stimulus spending in the next 3 months, in a bid to create or save 600,000 jobs over the next 100 days. The administration will expedite 10 major projects funded by the $787 billion stimulus package that Congress passed in February. Obama said, quote, "We have a long way to go on our road to recovery, but we are going the right way." Some Republicans have said that the stimulus package would do little more than drive the country deeper into debt. Today's top stories. A pro-Western anti-Syrian coalition inflicted a surprise defeat on the Iranian-backed Hezbollah and its allies in parliamentary elections in Lebanon on Sunday. The March 14th coalition, headed by Saad Hariri, son of slain former Premier Rafik Hariri, expects to widen its majority in the 128-seat parliament to 71 seats, against 57 for Hezbollah and its Shiite and Christian allies. The country now faces a tough battle to shape a national unity government and ensure that Lebanon is not plunged into a renewed cycle of political instability and sectarian violence. Ali Asghar Soltanieh, Iran's representative at the International Atomic Energy Agency, says the agency cannot but accept the peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program, and this issue must be taken off the agenda of its board of governors. According to ISNA, Soltanieh told Iran's Arab-language TV channel Al-Alam, after 6 years of unannounced and comprehensive inspections and 24 reports, the Secretary-General of the agency once again announced to the world in his report that there's no trace of digression and unlawful activities to be seen in Iran's nuclear program. He furthermore asserted, quote, "However, there was also one negative point mentioned in this report, and that was that the agency has announced that despite the request of the UN Security Council to do so, has refused to suspend its enrichment of uranium, and has not accepted the additional protocol. This is clear. We have said many times that we will not put aside our nuclear program, and especially our enrichment activities." North Korea on Monday sentenced 2 American journalists to 12 years of hard labor, ratcheting up tensions between the reclusive state and the United States. The 2 Americans, Laura Ling and Ayuna Lee, were convicted of committing hostilities against the Korean nation and illegal entry. The White House said today that U.S. President Obama was deeply concerned by their sentencing. The U.S. State Department today reiterated its call for Pyongyang to release the 2 women on humanitarian grounds.
Today in election news. The head of the state election headquarters announced today that voting for the 10th presidential election will begin at 800 local time on Friday the 22nd of Khordad, June 12th, and last for 10 hours. Kamran Daneshju, who was speaking at a news conference, said that the final results of the polls will be announced in the course of the 24 hours after the start of the vote counts. Regarding polling stations for Iranians living abroad, Daneshju said that 304 booths had been envisaged for this purpose and that 32 of these would be functioning in the United States. He also said that 46.2 million people were eligible to vote throughout Iran. As to procedure, Daneshju explained that if in the first round of the election, one of the candidates succeeds in gaining half of the total votes cast correctly plus one, thereby gaining an absolute majority, the first round would end. But if half plus one is not obtained, the election will move to the second stage, and next Friday, one of the two candidates will be elected in the runoff. A debate between presidential contenders Mir Hossein Mousavi and Mehdi Karoubi turned into an arena to criticize the ninth government and respond to charges forwarded earlier by the incumbent president Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. It was only toward the end of the debate, which was broadcast live by Network 3 of Iran's state-run television, that the two pro-reform candidates addressed the differences between their respective agendas in a friendly tone. Responding to Ahmadinejad's accusations and questions about taking contributions from indicted businessman Shahram Jazahiri Arab, convening a special court and prisons during his tenure as the head of the Martyrs Foundation, the source of his household income and his assets, and the cost of the campaign publicities and the publication of a photo of Ahmadinejad's wife in a newspaper managed by Karoubi, the latter accused Ahmadinejad of lying with regard to these issues. In the latter part of his speech, Karoubi criticized his rival reformist presidential contender Mir Hossein Mousavi for being absent from the political arena for the past 20 years. Mousavi had not borne any expense and had abdicated responsibility by maintaining silence in the face of human rights violations, the serial murders of Iranian intellectuals, the repression of religious minorities, and the Guardian Council's rejection of parliamentary and presidential nominees as incompetent candidates, Karoubi said. For his part, Mousavi blasted Ahmadinejad, saying that the current president had dragged Iran into economic crisis, international isolation, and the abyss of destruction, and accused him of tampering statistics to deceive the people. As an example, Mousavi cited a statement by Ahmadinejad, who said that the annual rate of inflation was 14%, and compared this to an official report by the country's central bank, which put the average annual rate at 25.4% in 2007-2008. At the same time, the governor of the central bank, Mahmoud Bahmani, said today that he would resign if the smallest problem were to be found in the statistics published by the bank. He said, point-to-point inflation from March 20th, 2008 to March 21st, 2009 was 17.8%, while this figure was at 15.5% in April and 15% in May. He stressed the inflation rate in the 12 months ending on May 20th, 2009 is equivalent to 23.6%. At the same time, Mousavi's wife, Zahra Rahnavard, said that if Ahmadinejad failed to apologize in the next 24 hours for the accusations he leveled at her during last week's debate, in which he said Rahnavard had acquired a doctoral degree without passing the proper courses, she will file a lawsuit against him. Meanwhile, dissident clergyman Grand Ayatollah Hossein Ali Montazeri published a statement on June 6 saying that the Guardian Council of the Constitution considers itself society's guardian and with consultative supervision selects certain individuals and candidates according to taste and rejects others' competency. In his statement, Montazeri considered the disqualifications of parliamentary and presidential nominees to be an obscene violation of the rights of the rejected nominees and an insult to the people. He went on to criticize Ahmadinejad for his accusations against former President and Expediency Council Chair Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani and several other Islamic Republic officials. These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.